What is up, everybody? It's Zachary Reality, and we are back for another exit interview with Rachel from Destination X. Rachel, I'm so sad you went home. I was rooting for you.
Me too. I had so many cute clothes. I was like, really? I get voted off episode three. I had so many cute fits I got just for the show, but it's fine. Life happens.
No, literally, your hair, your clips, like you were bringing the fabulosity, and I know that you and Janae would have gotten along so well.
No, well, somebody had to because until Janae got on that bus, there wasn't really any kind of fashion moments going on. I'm like, somebody's got to hold it together. So at least just for the sake of the show, at least Janae came on as I left, so nobody was left
Mhm.
wanting fashion moments.
No, absolutely. Now, where things went wrong is that you put the X at the wrong place in France, in Cannes, when y'all were in Paris. Why did you ultimately come to that decision?
It came 100% from the clues that Ty gave me because every clue that I had gotten throughout the episode had been a red herring. And it was pretty obvious. And like, none of the clues I'm getting are making any sense. None of the clues the other players are getting are making any sense. And because Shane and Ty had won the advantage, I was like, okay, so they know the actual clue. And it felt so on the nose like, can dance, can film festival. And so in my head, I was like Paris is too obvious. Like if it was really a good clue, it's niched. It's got to be can. So I felt so confident going into it, but I was wrong.
I know. Is there anything you wish that you could have done differently looking back at it, especially after watching the episode? Did you gain any new clarity on your decision?
In the decision making process, I think I would have done it all the same because it felt so niched to me. It wasn't so much the clue that I would have gone back and changed. What it would have been would definitely have been making better alliances in the beginning because then
Mm,
maybe I wouldn't have ended up in the map room in the first place because I
mm,
was the only contestant to be in the map room every single episode. Nobody was saving me. Nobody
mhm.
was keeping me out of the map room. So if I had done things differently, I would be a lot quicker about forming solid alliances because then maybe I wouldn't have even had to be in that map room to make that decision to begin with.
Right. Well, maybe they were threatened by you. I mean, you do have a lot of travel experience. You're smart. I mean, you're owning the whole bus. I mean, how was it for you as such a diva, being on this bus with black windows?
You know, it's funny is from the get-go, I was like, I want to be besties with the girls. I don't give a crap about these guys. Like, don't care. I think I probably talked to them like very tiny amounts of time because I'm like, you guys aren't my gameplay. Like these bitches, these are the gameplay. This is where I want to build those alliances. And so I think I really loved being able to connect with them. However, I still felt even within the group of girls, you could feel that there was something deeper, like especially with like Allie and Ty were really tight. And
Hmm.
then eventually Mac started like slinking over and they'd be having little conversations and Kim and I would be like, the fuck is that about over there? So I think even within that, you could feel like, okay, like something's happening here, and I'm obviously not a part of it.
Yeah, for sure. And even with like lying about Janae and like seeing Janae, like that's obviously going to come to bite her in the butt later on. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what happens in future episodes. Who are you rooting for and who do you want to see continue to do really well?
Honestly, I love Ty because she is the person I think, I guess, really, she was the only person in the game who ever gave me a solid clue and said, I don't want you to go home. Like other people, they were so nice, but like she was the only one that was like, here's a clue. I want you to stay. This is what it is. Everyone else, they weren't sharing too much of anything. So I want to see Ty, make it really far. And I think she was in a tricky situation with Janae because I think Ty probably also didn't want to target on her back either about knowing this information. So I'm really interested to see how it plays out in the next episode if people are like, understanding of being like, yeah, I get it. Like you kind of had to keep that to yourself. Or if they're like, what the hell? Why didn't you share it? So I'm super interested to see how that all plays out.
Is there anywhere you wanted to go during this experience that you wish you could have gone if you stayed longer?
To the end to win $250,000, wherever
Yeah.
that ends up being. I would have liked to go to that one. Also, the main thing I really wanted to do, an activity that I didn't get to do, was the whitewater rafting. I
Mm.
saw, on a little promo that they end up going whitewater rafting. I'm like, damn it! That's the one thing I wanted to do was like go rafting. But that's not really a place. That's a thing you could do anywhere, I guess.
It's still a good answer. Okay, I like it. How did you get casted for the show?
They reached out through my Instagram. They were like, "Hi, you look funny and cool and amazing." No, it didn't happen like that. They really were just like, "Hey, there's a show. Like maybe you would be a good fit for this." And I was like, "Let's see." So then after they like reached out, it was like a long process of like, is she a crazy person? I had to do like the mental questionnaires. Had to meet with a shrink. They had to make sure everybody was like not gonna literally murder each other on the bus, like quite literally. So very, very long, extensive process at that point. But they're just like, you seem like you would probably like reality TV. And I'm like, you are absolutely right.
I want to see you on the Traders. I think you would have great outfits.
Okay, Zach, literally traders, even like Love Island, because I'm
Mm.
divorced now. And I'm like, ew,
Oh,
I hate dating. I hate it. I'm like, can you guys just give me a pre-selected group of people? So I'm like, traders, Love Island, and honestly, anything to save me from having to date for real. Because right now it's just me and this dog, and I don't want to
oh
change that.
wow. No, because you were opening up about wanting to have children on the show and your fertility journey. Where is that chapter at right now?
So I was so complete. I had been married to my husband for 7 years, and we'd always been best friends. And he recently went on a journey. That was my wall falling. He recently went on a journey where he realized that he liked men. And we had grown up super religious, and that was not an area that he had ever explored. And so, he was like, I think that I have this attraction to men. And I said, you gotta like explore that, figure that out. He met somebody great. He has a boyfriend now, and I love his boyfriend. And it's hard because I'm like, well, I wanted a family with you. And like, we were trying to get pregnant. And like, now I'm going to have to go on that journey and meet somebody and make sure they're not crazy and then wait to get married and then wait to have kids. So like, it adds to my timeline, but I really do think things happen for a reason. He's happy. I'm going to be happy. It'll
Mhm.
be fine.
Oh my gosh, what a story. I can't believe that. But like you said, everything does happen for a reason. I'm sure your family's out there, and I think that watching you open up about it, like as a viewer, like I really want that for you. So I am excited to follow along and see what's next. Where can everybody follow you on Instagram and maybe leave us with what you learned about yourself from this experience?
Yeah, it's just my name, Rachel Rosette. You can find on Instagram. And I think the thing that I learned about myself on this experience is that I can do things alone, right? I was on the bus, and even without a strong alliance, I feel like I held my own for the time I was there, and I really kind of helped prep me for this time in my life that now I'm like, I just moved to a new apartment by myself. I've never lived alone. I've either had roommates or I've been married. So this
Mhm.
whole period of my life, it's like very, I don't want to say isolating, but you are alone without that like emotional support like you had. So the show like prepped me for that. So I guess I learned this bitch is okay being alone, but let's hope she doesn't stay that way forever.
No, no, your perfect guy is out there, and I promise you he's going to be straight and you're going to have a family.
At this point, I'm like, I know you can't trust men, even the gay ones now, because look at what he did. So like maybe I just need a woman. Maybe I need an alien. My doors are 1,000,000% open at this point.
For sure. You are so funny. I have had so much fun chatting with you. Thank you for joining, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye.